Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Just wanted to jump on here. I got a few things I need to talk about. A couple of days ago, there's a shooting in Minneapolis, and they said it was about 3 miles from where George Floyd was killed, that multiple gunmen opened fire. 11 people were injured, 1 person died. So I read this article so I could see the basic details of the information, whatever was known at the time. And then I made the mistake of reading the comments. You shouldn't read comments, right? The chief comment, the primary comment from dozens and dozens and dozens of people: why were the cops called? Why do they need the cops to investigate? Oh, I thought you guys didn't want cops. Just tons of people saying this stupid bullshit over and over and over again. And it just blows my friggin' mind, because defunding the police or abolishing the police doesn't mean that society doesn't need law enforcement officers. That's not what it means. And there'd just be no law. It would never just reckless and Mad Max, whatever. And if you know this, yet get online and squawk about it, and you don't provide anything that's informative or anything that's constructive about the situation, you're just here to agitate and just to obfuscate the actual facts of what's behind this whole defund the police thing, you suck. That's the bottom line on that. It's not the purge, although for cops kill people all the time, nothing ever happens to them. But anyway, that'll be a separate post, not this one. Defunding the police means reallocating or rebudgeting taxpayer dollars to go into social programs, other things in the community that could be beneficial, either indirectly, directly, or passively, to taking away extraneous duties that police officers may not be equipped to handle or shouldn't have to handle. You're taking funds, investing them there, as well as money to retrain law enforcement officers on how to react to certain situations depending upon the circumstance. Best example I could give of this would be whenever there's a mentally challenged or someone who suffers from mental illness and the cops are called out to deal with that person, a social worker or psychiatrist or someone who's, again, more skilled, more adept at it, would be able to de-escalate the situation and to keep the body count down, as opposed to some hothead jerk-off cop just showing up and filling a bunch of bullets into a person who actually needs help. Like the one incident where the mentally challenged person, mental ill person, got away from the facility, and the healthcare aide went after them, and the cops wind up shooting that guy in the middle of the street, the healthcare aide who was just doing his job. Dude's on top of the roof. I think it was in New York. Dude's on top of the roof, and the cops tase the guy, and he plummets off the roof, and he dies. California. Mentally unstable woman trying to cross into traffic on the highway or the freeway or CHIPS, and the best way for the officer to stop her from endangering other people and causing an accident was for him to straddle her chest and punch her in the face and hammer fist her in the face like a dozen times. That was the solution. There's so many incidents that are in my friggin' head. Suicidal dude who wanted the cops to kill him.
Why is this happening this way?
Officers arrive on the scene. One officer is able to talk the guy down from killing himself, and then that officer was fired because he put his other officers in danger because he didn't kill that guy and then violated it violated policy. So that officer was fired because he didn't kill a mentally unstable, suicidal person.
They're yelling, put down the gun, and then within seconds, as he's waving the weapon, one officer ended up firing 4 shots, and the last one hit the man in the head.
Man, it's like, I understand the pressures and the stresses and everything that's on law enforcement officers' shoulders, but those pressures and stress, none of that should count as a pass for you to be able to just kill someone from you like overreacting or not properly assessing a situation or just cranking everything up to 11. It's not a pass for murdering people. Man, or causing like unnecessary injury or harm to someone who hasn't done anything yet. There are healthcare workers and doctors who deal with people that need help mentally without electrocuting them, without shooting them, without killing them. So maybe that might be something to consider when it comes to de-escalating the situation, so we don't get a freaking person who obviously needs help and the cops help him or cross over to the other side.
Run to the light, Caroline! Run as fast as you can!
Man. And getting back to this, hey, I thought you guys didn't need the cops or you don't want the cops. Getting back to this stupid response that dozens of people felt the need to post instead of just reading what the previous person wrote and it says the same damn thing and you go and you write the same thing anyway. Getting back to that, here's an analogy. If we took what's going on with the policing system and people, if we took that, and let's say instead of it being cops, it's doctors. If doctors were killing like a percentage of their patients each time they performed a procedure, instead of the hospital firing or retraining that physician or whatever, the hospital just pays out wrongful death suits by hundreds of families that brought cases against the hospital. Okay? So the hospital allows the doctors who've killed the patients to continue to kill patients instead of researching or getting to the root of the problem, hiring doctors that don't kill people when they perform this procedure, right? Because that's what makes sense, right? It makes sense that if doctors keep killing patients, that either you retrain the doctors or you hire new doctors. But then, from out of the woodwork, comes a group of people that keep saying stupid bullshit. Well, the next time you need surgery, I sure hope you don't need a doctor. I thought you wanted to get rid of all the doctors that were killing. Now you need a doctor to perform surgery. Good luck. Why do you need a doctor to perform the surgery? That's how, you realize how stupid that sounds? That's how stupid that sounds. When someone criticizes a profession where you screwing up or you being crap at your profession, the end result of you sucking at your profession, it's people dying. The reaction isn't, hey, well, let's fix this. It's not an isolated incident. Let's see if we can get around to this so we can start saving people's lives. It's not that. It's threatening to extort the safety of someone who's just asking that you do your job and you do your job without killing people. Doesn't make any friggin' sense whatsoever. That's all you want. You just want the person to do their job without shooting a 92-year-old woman 39 times, landing 6 of those shots, hitting your fellow officers in friendly fire because it's 3 of you guys shooting up an old lady's house, and then realizing that, this isn't a crack house at all. And then you go and you plant 3 bags of weed on a 92-year-old grandmother after you gunned her down in her home. If you guys need any annotations about any of the incidents that I've brought up here, just ask for it in the comments, or not, because I'm telling the truth. A 92-year-old grandmother. But that should be part of the other post. That's it for me.